love. We have been, as contributors, asked to do a fun challenge. And the challenge is they gave us a stencil and they wanted us to partner with Dollar Tree to go in there and find anything we can to do a project with. So this is a super fun week. All of us contributors are doing that, and we also have a little contest running where you can judge which project you like the best. So there's info on that up above, and you can click on that link and please enter, because guess what? You will win or be registered to win a $150 gift card to Dollar Tree. Can you even imagine that? $150. You know, that's 150 items, right? So I am so happy. I was given this particular stencil, and it is a huge stencil. It is called Place Setting Stencil. So it's a 12 by 18 inch stencil, and it's got some silverware on here, and it's got this place setting, and it's got this little banner going through it. So this is what I'm gonna do my project on. So it's super fun. Again, this is a 12 by 18 tri-mesh stencil. Fabulous. So I'll show you what I'm gonna do. I am gonna pull out, so these stencils are on a backing because they're adhesive, and then there's another piece of cardboard in here that is used just to stabilize the pack. So I'm gonna pull that out. And what I'm gonna do is, let me just put, such a big stencil. Let me just put that over there. What I'm gonna do, this is just like a piece of cardboard. It has nothing to do with the stencil, but it just keeps the stencil flat in that sleeve. So I'm going to take this piece of cardboard, and I had gone to my Dollar Tree and I had gotten a piece of poster board. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is take this particular piece of cardboard that I got out of the stencil pack, and I'm going to trace it on this poster board. So basically I line up the corner so I don't have to trace that part. I'm going to go ahead and trace it, and then I'm going to have this size piece of poster board cut out. If you notice, there is the lines there. I'm not going to go ahead and cut it. I'm running out of space because that's a big piece of poster board. So remember, that's from the Dollar Tree poster board, and it does come in black. So if you like that color scheme, you could use the black poster board. They even have orange. So what I did is I went ahead and cut it out of the poster board. Just for a little detail, I used a pinking shear along the edge. Sometimes I think a pinking shear just covers up like any kind of wiggly line, and it just gives it a little bit more detail. So that is a piece of poster board from the Dollar Tree. That's going to be my surface today. Again, if you're hopping on, let us know where you're watching from. Don't forget to pick who you think this week was the, because it's a challenge, a Dollar Tree challenge, where they wanted us to use a Maker Studio project products and the Dollar Tree surfaces, which to me is like peanut butter and jelly. When you pair Dollar Tree surfaces with a Maker Studio, that's a perfect partnership. So again, this is just a piece of poster board, so it's given me a little bit more oomph than just plain paper. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the stencil, and since this is a huge stencil, I'm going to take it out, but I'm not going to take it off of its backing yet. Because it's such a huge stencil, I don't want to take it off and then apply it to this paper right away, because it will just be hard to manipulate. So what I did is just folded down the bottom of it, or the side of it, and once I get this piece particularly flush against the surface, then I can begin pulling that piece out. Believe me, if you try to do it any other way, especially on paper, it will kind of just be all, have a lot of air pockets. And that's one thing we try not to have with the stencils, is to have an air pocket that has, will impede the product from hitting the surface properly. So let me just do this. Okay, so as I go on, I'm just going to press this down, and then I will release the back of the stencil a little bit more. So just like that, just like that. And as I'm doing this, I'm definitely trying to get all of the air bubbles out. Again, this is on paper. Usually if it's on a wooden surface, it doesn't really make a difference, but it'll grab pretty much to paper. So again, I still have it attached. An easier way too, you could divide this and cut this stencil in 3 and apply it 3 separate times if you feel like you would need to do that. Let me just pull that up a little bit more to get some air bubbles out that I see there. Okay, then I'll go back and flatten that out and then pull off the backing. Pull off the backing. Because I got to the end, it was easier to pull it off. Again, this is poster board, and this is a very adhesive backing. So it will grab. That's why I didn't release it from its backing totally right away. And because it's such a big stencil, you would just have a mess on your hands. It will just grab everything. So as I'm going on, I'm just trying to get the wrinkles out of it. I got one big wrinkle right there. Wrinkles or air pockets are not your friends when you're putting these stencils on. Okay, let me see if I can get this last corner down. So what I'm looking for is I don't want anything so I can't get it to the surface. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use 3 colors of the gel art ink. So remember, this is a competition, or I shouldn't say competition, it's a challenge between us to see what we can do with Dollar Tree items. So I'm going to use 3 colors of gel art ink. Well I Swanee is the brown color, Lord Have Mercy is the orange in the gel art ink, and Grass is Always Greener is the green color. I always start with, if I'm going to use this many color scheme in my project, I usually start with a scraper because I like to cut them up because I got to be on the go of trying to get it done. Usually if I was only using one color, I'd use the squeegee. We have a whole nother line of applicators. So what I like to do is I like to cut this and use it in a more manageable size. I have a bunch of different ones that I've cut in previously. Because they are reusable, you can use them again and again. So I just collect them in this little jar and literally use them over and over. I do like to cut them smaller because it gives me a more manageable way to apply it. And since I'm using 3 colors, I have to be more mindful that I would have to then clean my squeegee. So I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to start with a little bit of the Well I Swanee. Already I have determined what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the brown, the Well I Swanee. On the silverware, I'm going to do the plate per se in the green, and then the little other embellishment in the orange. So here I go. I'm just going to use this on the fork. And then I'm going to go do the spoon and the knife. Again, I like to apply less of the product and go back and get more than to apply a lot and then have to keep scraping it off. I'm going to put that down. And what I'm looking for as I'm doing this is, because I'm working on the white poster board, if I see the white poster board still peeking through the stencil, I kind of know that I missed the stencil because I would see the color white. I'm all done with that. I have a water bath all the way over there. I put all my products in products that I'm using in a water bath so that I don't have it dry until I can get to a sink and clean it. Now this is the Grass is Always Greener color. I am going to use it on the plate area of this stencil. I don't want to hit this banner. So I'm just gently poking it through or pushing it through the stencil. I can tell by that noise, as you can hear, that it is going through, but I can also tell it's changing the color of the poster board underneath from white to green. So if you are just hopping on, I am Cheryl. I create over on the Home of My Making Facebook page, but I'm here as a contributor today. We are running a little bit of a giveaway over here and a event where we partner with the Dollar Tree store and the Maker Studio stencils to come up with a project. So each one of us this week have gone to the Dollar Tree and gotten surfaces to pair with a stencil that was given to us to use in this contest. Again, there's going to be a link that you can vote for one of us and some project, or project that you like this week, and go ahead and enter, because once you enter, you will also be in the running for $150, if you can imagine, $150 gift card to Dollar Tree. I think it almost sounds so funny to say $150 gift card. But if you're anything like me, Dollar Tree has fabulous surfaces to pair with the Maker Studio products. It's like peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter and jelly. Dollar Tree also, when you see their surfaces, get them. Now this is just a simple piece of poster board that I'm doing this on, which they usually have all the time. And again, their poster board also comes in black. So if you wanted to recreate this using the black as the surface, I would suggest using the Well I Declare, which is the white gel art ink on this whole entire stencil, and you would have like the contrast of black and white if that was your color that you would like to do. So there's many possibilities. Also, I'm doing this in a fall theme, but you could do this same project in just an everyday look using the gel art ink in your decor colors. I happen to be, like I said, this is a fall inspired project. So that's why I'm using the colors that I'm using. I'm almost done. Just got a little bit more to do. And then I'm going to pull this off of the surface. So I'm going to close up all my containers because they are water-based and you don't want them to dry out. So I'm going to pull this off very gently, very gently. And because it is a paper, do it gently. If it was wood, I would use a little bit more strength, but because it's paper, I'm going to do it slowly. And it will come off and all the detail will still be on there. Now you could use this stencil, you don't have to use it in its entirety. You could actually use it by just using the silverware on like a cute tea towel or something, right? In this case, what I'm doing is I'm using it as a placemat by using the poster board from the Dollar Tree as my place setting foundation. And I cut that using the template from the piece of cardboard that was packed in the packing of this stencil. So that gives me a great template, and I know it's going to match up exactly with this stencil size. So I'm almost to the end. You could see how much detail that is. I'm going to put this in a water bath over here, and I'm going to rinse it when I get off. It's a huge stencil. It's a huge stencil. So here's what I have. Simple and easy. Now this is basically a placemat, right? So the inspiration for me was the upcoming holidays. I was asked again to partner with the Dollar Tree to figure out something we could use. So this is my inspiration piece. Now let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm literally going to dry this because I need it dry. Now, this open space here, I'm going to work with that. Because since this is a stencil, and I'm going to use it as a placemat, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a Sharpie marker. Now, we're in an upcoming holiday season that has a lot of gatherings. So remember, this is only poster board from the Dollar Tree. So with this big open area right here, I'm going to take a Sharpie and I'm going to put the word mom. Now, the reason why I'm putting the word mom is because I'm going to be at the table. People call me Mom, but you could put Cheryl, you could put Anne, you could put whatever you want in that center. And look what it becomes. It becomes a placemat that is for each guest, right? So if you make a multiple of these, and remember, it's only Dollar Tree poster board, right? So it's pretty sturdy. It's not flimsy at all. So what I did is I went ahead and you would put each guest's name in here. Now let me show you a variable on this. Dollar Tree also has a roll of brown paper. Here I did it with the roll of brown paper, right? So you have two different ways to do this. You could do it with the roll of brown paper, roll it out, stencil it also, and I only use the Well I Declare white gel art ink on here. Like I said, they also have black poster board. You could do the same thing. In this particular project, if you look real close in the center, I took the thankful stencil and I put it in here. Here, I'm going to identify each guest. Here, I just did it thankful as a generic version of the same thing, but I also did it on the paper roll of brown paper, also making a little cut with the painting shears. Now let me show you how to finish this off, because again, it's the Dollar Tree. I did take a piece of this black poster board and I cut like a 4x8 rectangle out. Now, if you have ever been on my page at A Home of My Making, I always think the number one stencil you need to get first and foremost is an alphabet stencil, because you could do so much. Well, we have this fabulous stencil that's one of the alphabets, and it is a Madras letter stencil. But because it is basically let me just take one out for you. It almost looks like a plaid, and what better time of the year to use plaid but at the fall time. So see that detail in the letter C? So what I did is I cut out a piece of the black poster board, put the letter C on it. So here's how I'm going to do this. This is your Thanksgiving table setting. Watch, now mind you, this is Dollar Tree products and a Maker Studio stencils. Like I said, peanut butter and jelly when they go together. So each guest will also have their initial to identify where they're going to sit, especially if you were just to do all these with the thankful, like I did the brown paper. In this one, I just want to show you two different variables. You can use the thankful or grateful stencil in the center, or you can by hand put the guest name, and then here is a monogram. Next thing I'm going to do, Dollar Tree has these fabulous clear plates. Now here's where it gets better. When you put a clear plate over this, guess what you got? You could see the name. Dollar Tree Surface. Fabulous, isn't it? Then all I did is went and got the Dollar Tree little mug, put some straws in it, and this literally is your table setting for the holiday. One more added embellishment. They had these pretty pumpkins at the Dollar Tree. They're like gingham, orange gingham mini pumpkins. So if I had a table, basically what I would be doing is just spreading these all over the table. And then you would have a cute. Now granted, if I had a bigger space, these would be in front, maybe running down, but I would catch a couple of them on this placemat. So what do you think? Now remember, this is poster board, guys. Dollar Tree, Dollar Tree, Dollar Tree. There you go. So I hope this inspired you. Don't forget to vote for your favorite contributor this week in the Dollar Tree Challenge, because remember, Dollar Tree goes with a Maker Studio stencils like peanut butter and jelly. So thank you for joining me. I hope this inspired you, and have a great day, guys. Bye.